This is VOA News. I'm Joe Ramsey. Ukraine has promised to investigate a gruesome video circulating on social media that purportedly shows the beheading of a Ukrainian soldier. AP correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
In Kyiv, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky says this video, the execution of a Ukrainian prisoner, the world must see. This is a video of Russia as it is. What kind of creatures are these? This is a video of Russia trying to make just that the new norm, the habit of destroying life. Zelensky adds those responsible will be held accountable. The Kremlin has called the video horrible, but says it needs to be verified. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
A rapid overhaul to Russia's conscription system rushed through Parliament on Wednesday and has underlined a scramble for additional manpower for its forces fighting in Ukraine. On Wednesday, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that it was intended to solve what he called a mess in Russian draft centers that had been exposed by a partial mobilization in September when the government was forced to retract several wrongly issued draft papers. In some ways, the new laws are harsher than September's decree on partial mobilization, whose enforcement was patchy and varied from region to region. Thousands of people lined the streets of the Irish town of Dundalk to welcome Joe Biden, the U.S. president, on his first visit to Ireland. Biden's mother said on the family from Ireland's east coast, people waited for hours in the cold and rain to take pictures with Biden or shake his hand. The president is proud of his Irish heritage. This is VOA News. Taiwan said on Wednesday it had successfully urged China to drastically narrow its plan to close airspace north of the island. Reuters correspondent Edward Barn reports.
Beijing originally notified Taipei it would impose a no-fly zone for 3 days from April the 16th to 18th, but Taiwan said this was later reduced to a period of just 27 minutes on Sunday morning after it protested. The development follows days of intense military drills that China has staged around Taiwan in response to President Tsai Ing-wen's meeting with U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy in California last week. It was against this backdrop that word of the airspace closure stoked fears of travel disruption across the region.
Reuters correspondent Edward Barron. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres reaffirmed the world body's commitment to supporting Somalia as it continues its path to peace and stability. VOA's Diane Roberts reports.
In remarks, the UN chief said that despite severe challenges, the people of Somalia continued to demonstrate enormous strength and resilience.
During the 6 years since my last visit, we have seen progress on peace, security, and sustainable development. In my talks with President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud and the government yesterday, we discussed how the United Nations system can continue to support Somalia in building on this positive momentum.
The UN's top official was addressing a news conference in the Somali capital, Mogadishu, on the second and last day of his visit to the Horn of Africa country. Diane Roberts, VOA News.
Businesses reopened and traffic was back in urban centers of Ethiopia's Amhara region on Wednesday after 6 days of violent protest over a planned shakeup of local forces, residents said. At least 5 people had died in the demonstrations, which are a fresh security challenge to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government following a 2-year war in neighboring Tigray region, which ended with a truce last November. The state-appointed Ethiopian Human Rights Commission said that unless the security situation in Amhara was not resolved immediately, there was risk of increased incidents of rights violations. Former U.S. President Donald Trump filed a lawsuit on Wednesday against his former personal lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen, a likely star witness in the criminal case facing him in New York. The suit filed in U.S. District Court in Florida seeks $500 million from Cohen over his alleged breach of attorney-client privileges and a confidentiality agreement. Cohen was among the witnesses who testified before the grand jury that ultimately indicted Trump, making him the first former or sitting U.S. president to face criminal charges. I'm Joe Ramsey, VOA News.
Thank you for watching. Can you do me a favor? Please leave a comment in the comment section below. That would really help. Thank you, and see you again soon.